Hi everyone. I thought I would show two different things on this layers project that you're working on, the tutorial project, and then the follow-up for the 30 points. So I just wanted to show how to create a border, and I also wanted to cover layer comps a little bit. So what you're looking at is you're looking at the tutorial after you've completed it, before you've started the 30 points. So the first thing I wanted to talk about are layer comps. So as a reminder, a layer comp is a way for you to create snapshots of your Photoshop file at different states. So it's a nice way to create one file that you can show different things in to potentially a client. So at this point in the tutorial, you have actually created two different comps, one showing the woman in the lower right and one showing her in the upper left. So what some students do is maybe they're going to show, if you want to show two different versions of text, maybe you want to show text in one place or another, or maybe you want to show text as one color or another. So in some cases you can move something on a layer and take a comp, and sometimes you might have to duplicate that layer. It really just depends on what you're trying to do. So I'm just going to quickly show an example using text. So I'm going to go ahead and pick the text tool, and I'm just going to click right out here in my image, and I'm going to type my name. Very exciting. I'm going to move it. And let's say I want to show a picture of my name as Sarah, and then maybe I want to show another comp with the color, with the name Sarah as a different color. So to do that, I can actually take the layer Sarah, and if I drag the layer over the new layer icon at the bottom of the layers panel, that will actually make a duplicate. So I could call this Sarah, and this one is going to be Sarah copy. And just for purposes, that's a little bit easy. And then we can define more specifics about it inside the layer comp. So what I can do on the Sarah copy layer is to easily select the text, the shortcut is if you double click this little T icon in the layers panel, that's an easy way to select the text. And then I can open up my color picker, and I can come out here to my picture, maybe pick up this blue. And so now I have Sarah and blue and red. Blue, red. So I could create a comp of that, but you'll see in this case I actually had to create two instances of the layer. I could actually call this Sarah red, and I could call this Sarah blue. It will not affect the text here on the screen, but it's a nice way to identify the layers. So then if I want to make the comps, I will have the blue layer turned off. I have Sarah red turned on. I can come into layer comps, create a new layer comp, and call it comp Sarah red. The text is red. Click OK. It makes the comp. I can turn off the red, turn on the blue, and do the same thing. Make a second comp, comp Sarah blue. Text is blue. Click OK. And now if I toggle between the two, I know pull this out over here. You can see that I have two different comps. So in some cases you can just move your object on a layer, you can move the pixels on a layer to create the comp, and sometimes you might have to actually duplicate the layer. So just make note of that when you're working through this project. The other requirement is that you need to create a border. So we know that if we scroll down here to the bottom in my postcard base group, I could actually take this woodblock print and I could just add a stroke to it. And when I do that, and maybe I'm going to increase the stroke, and just so that you guys can see it, right? So we have this stroke here, but that border, if I were to click OK, is not on top of the picture as if it were a picture frame. It's underneath. So you could absolutely drag in these different woodblock prints and the images, and you could crop it so that it does appear as there's a picture frame. That is absolutely one way to solve the problem, so that it looks kind of like there's a border. I'm going to go ahead and remove this by going into the history panel and coming up. When you're in the history panel and you want to remove a step, don't click these little icons over here to the left. You actually want to click the name, and that's going to take you backwards in time. So another way to solve this problem is I could throw a layer at the very, select the top layer, add a new layer. That puts a layer at the top. I can call this one border. And this is just a quick and easy trick that I've done over time. Instead of using a layer effect, I could come on over here to the rectangular marquee, and I'm just going to eyeball it. I'm going to grab and drag a selection, not the full size of the image, but instead what would be considered the inside of the picture frame. And you'll see I have the marching ants. And then I'm going to come up to select inverse, and that actually selects the opposite. So you can see I've actually created a picture frame, or I've created the shape of a picture frame. And then I can go edit, fill, and I can pick a color. Black, gray, and white are defaults. I'm going to pick black, and you can see I've made the picture frame. Control D or Command D, and that is a way that you could add the picture frame at the top, and you can kind of see it in a little preview. So just a few tips to help you out on this project as well as moving forward in the class. So definitely have fun with this, and let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.